And now, here's your host of Shaping Success, Wes Tankersley.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to Shaping Success. I am your host, Wes Tankersley. Thanks to our sponsor, Tattooed and Successful. They make this awesome shirt that I'm wearing, as well as some other ones. Make Your Own Luck is what that stands for. And that's what I really like about all their messages. You can go to tattooedandsuccessful.com and use code TANK to get a special discount. Hey, so this is going to be the start of season 3. I actually did one episode with season 3 with my buddy Brian Sales, who's been on the show before, and super fun, super interesting. And I just wanted to hit back on, for those of you who are new, because we've had some really big numbers. You know, the show hit over 33,000 downloads over the last couple months, and it's just blown up. It's just super exciting. I'm meeting a lot of great people and having great conversations. This is one of the very first times that I typically do this live. I don't do it very often live, so I just kind of threw that up right now, decided I was going to do that. You may be asking questions and things like that, but I don't see them right now, just because I want to concentrate on what we have going on. I'll answer whatever questions you have in the comments from my Facebook feed. Hopefully it is going there. It's connected, so we'll see if it actually works. That's kind of one of the deals. I know it's on YouTube right now and Twitter because I can see it, but I started this show to kind of help other people. You know, I was kind of going through this little somewhat mini crisis myself. I had just quit teaching. I had gotten 2 degrees and taught for 4 years and got my master's degree while I was teaching those 4 years. And I quit and I became a salesman, and I had to reinvent myself, you know, kind of figure things out. And so I started this show, and it was a way for me to kind of reach out to people in the business industry in Boise, and kind of get to know them and understand what they were doing, and you know, kind of earn some trust in that way. And what I realized is that I was seeing people who, like me, were kind of having these little either mini crises or whatever you want to call them, and they were, you know, trying to figure themselves out. And I'd always been the person who was half empty, you know, like everything was negative, and then when something positive happened, I was surprised. And then I started to realize that that wasn't the way that I wanted to live with the things that I'm doing. So I decided that I was going to flip the script, right? And what I ended up doing was I became the glass is half full type of guy, and started looking at things in a positive light and trying to find the positive thing in everything, and realized that you are successful when you do what you love. And that's why the show is called Shaping Success, because success is dependent upon what you decide it's going to be. And for me, it's helping other people to figure that out, and that's why I created the show. I still get to teach in a sense, but I don't really have to be in a school setting to do that. So I can reach many people. I reach a lot of my students, previous students. I reach, you know, normal people. I get great guests on here. I talk to people, and the funny thing is it's more kind of selfish because I get to actually find that out. And then the nice thing about it is I get to share it with you guys. So that's the exciting part about it. That's what's really, you know, what I'm doing this for. And so it's been great. It's been an awesome ride. So I want to continue, you know, to kind of keep that going and see what happens, you know, and see how that works. So, one thing you can always do if you have any good guest ideas or things like that, people you want to see on the show, let me know. DM me, email me. My email is wes@westankersley.com. It's really simple, really easy to get to. Just give me a little bit of your story and we'll see if it fits, because I think that you can be successful in your own way. We've had lots of podcasters on here, entrepreneurs, athletes, singer-songwriters, and we'll talk about a couple of those. One of the things I wanted to talk about was the top 5 downloaded episodes. I have a list of what they are right here. And it's interesting because for the longest time, one of the the number 1 downloaded episode was Mark Simo, who is the creator of Trust Me Vodka, No Fear, and a bunch of other things. And he helped me to realize a few things, which was great. But now, the one that I didn't really expect to be up there was Eric Reinhold, who is an author writer, which was very exciting to talk to him because he has this great output. He's been in radio, he's been in TV news, and he lost, you know, he had a bad marriage, and he realized he wrote this book 20 years ago and then decided that he was going to finish it and he had to rewrite it, but it's been pretty successful. called A Trip of a Lifetime. So that is the number one most downloaded episode, which is awesome because I went into that interview thinking, man, I don't know. I don't know if I have anything in common with this guy. I don't know what to talk to him about. And it was very eye-opening. One of my favorite interviews. Very good. Then Mark Simo. Like I said, I already talked about him. Shauna Toft is an actress who has got like 5 kids and she is busting it. She's making it happen. She's making things happen. She's been in some great movies. I need to have Shauna back on because we can talk about what she's got going on now. And then Fabian Ojeda, who has his own podcast called Ignorance is Strength. And he's just a great guy. I really enjoy talking to him because he kind of relates to me. It's a real thing. He wants other people to understand what's going on and kind of share those thoughts with people too. So those are some pretty good ones. That last episode that's in the top 5 was an episode that I did solo called Let's Connect. And connection to me is a huge thing. And that'll kind of lead into my favorite guests. My favorite guests that I have had throughout, the whole time. I picked 2. It's really hard to pick people, and I don't want to like downplay any of them because every single interview I did was it was great. It was something that I was able to connect with someone, learn something, and help share something. And I really enjoy that, being able to do that, help other people like I've talked about. So I have 2 favorite guests, and I'm going to tell you a little story behind both of them. Noah Nelson is one of my favorite episodes that I did. And it's just really the reason why I think it's one of my favorite is how real he was, how easy it was to talk to him. And that's one thing that you learn when you podcast and you do these things is you learn to talk to people. You learn to interact with people. You learn to connect with people. And when you connect with a guest and you end up talking to him and it's like a regular conversation the first time you talk to him, it's not like you're nervous or scared to talk to them. It's just a great feeling. And so I met Noah Nelson through Jay Finning, my buddy who we do One Drink Wednesday, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Jay's been a really big part of my podcast for the 3 years that we're going on year 3, right? Because I do the seasons by year. So this is season 3. And he's been a big part of that. And one of the things that I learned through connecting, and that's kind of what the Let's Connect episode was about, is you start to get to know people. And I've known Jay, like I said, since, COVID happened. We kind of got in this little group on Instagram where there was a whole bunch of people in there. And it just kind of fell apart. But what was nice about it was there was a bunch of people who didn't really have the same feelings or the same thoughts or whatever. And in our society, if you disagree with someone, the moderator of that group just kicked us out one by one. Started with me, then my friend Zach, then Brian, and then Jay. And these are the 4 guys, and we'll talk a little bit about them in a bit. And Jay is super technical. Jay has helped me with my sound. Jay has helped me with my audio, but we talk on a daily basis. He lives in Arizona. I live in Idaho, and it's just a great thing to be surrounded with those types of people. And listening to Jay's podcast, I heard him interview Noah Nelson, who you think, who's Noah Nelson, right? If you don't know. And Noah is the son of Craig T. Nelson, who is, he was Coach, the TV show Coach, for a long time. I'm kind of dating myself. I am 41, so I watched that growing up as a kid. And then he was on Jay's show, and I listened to him talk with Jay, and I was just like, man, this guy just sounds really interesting. Super cool, super nice guy. And through Jay, I connected with Catherine Cox, who is a very big supporter of mine as well. And she is related to Noah. And she reached out to me and she said, hey, are you serious about having Noah on your show? I'll give him your number and see if he'll be willing to do it. And he was. And it was one of those interviews that, you develop a friendship. And I don't know Noah personally, but I've talked with him quite a bit. He called me the same day that I texted him, and we talked on the phone for like 30 minutes, like we knew each other, just about what we wanted to talk about, what the show was about, just all kinds of things. And it's super cool. He's been on One Drink Wednesday with us 2 or 3 times. And he's just a great guy. But with that, it's all about connection, and that's how it happens, right? You interact with someone. I always talk about surrounding yourself with like-minded people, and that's what Jay is for me. Jay is a person who thinks kind of like me. He is kind of that voice of reason that helps me to think things through. We're sounding boards for each other. And same thing with Brian and Zach. It's just I talk to Jay every single day, and Brian and Zach are pretty busy, but they are connections as well that I really am thankful for. The second one has a little bit different meaning for me. A few years back, quite a while back, I was listening to the local rock station, and I've had a couple of those guys on the show as well. I've had 3 of the DJs, which are people that I grew up listening to on the radio station. And I heard this song called Rich Kids by a band called New Medicine. And I was listening to Rich Kids, and it was just kind of interesting because the song, he talks about like, I should have went to college like rich kids do, and then like spent all his money on other things and didn't go to college. And I was like, man, this guy is like writing like this is a real thing. And then throughout the years, I followed New Medicine. They put out another album, and then they kind of broke up or went on a hiatus. And I'm the type of guy who, like, when I'm listening to music or watching a movie or something like that, and I have a question about those people, because I like stories, if you haven't noticed. So I'll read autobiographies, I'll read stories about people's lives, and then I'll go and do the research and figure out what they're about. And I realized it started popping up on my Facebook feed because I liked New Medicine. Jake Rose, the lead singer of New Medicine, had started a country career. And so I'm listening to these country songs that he's putting out in addition to what New Medicine puts out. And you have all these thoughts about what people are thinking about when they write those songs. And, I followed Jake on Instagram, and on a whim, I messaged him and I said, hey, I would love to have you on my show and share that story with, how you got where you got. And it was crazy. Jake has an awesome story. Jake is the type of person who, he got out of high school. He wanted to be in a band. He jumped in a van and drove all over the country playing, trying to get contracts, doing whatever it would take. And they finally got signed. They finally got a band. And it was just a great interview. He's such a real person, such a great guy. And it was super fun to be able to interview someone like that. And that's kind of like, the cool thing to me about that is kind of like you feel like these people that are kind of somewhat famous, you don't really get a chance to talk to them. You don't get an opportunity to talk to them. And that's okay, because I know some of these other people that I have interviewed are great. They're just everyday people, talking about what they do for a living and doing something to build and create something. And it's awesome to be able to have that conversation with Jake, but then have that with other people too. But when the person that you're interviewing, you find out that they're not, you think of like stars are unattainable. They're people that you can't talk to. And you could have just a regular conversation with a guy. He was super cool. He was in his studio. He was very humble. And one of the things that stuck with me was he's just like, I'm just too stubborn to quit. And I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. And he's going to have a very successful country career. He's writing for people like Kid Rock and Colt Ford. It's just crazy. It's just awesome. But then he also has his own music. And his songs are all about life stories, about things that he's been through for the most part. So that's what's super cool. When I look at a writer, I think about what they're writing about. Are they writing some kitschy tune, trying to get something out there? And it's not. It has meaning behind it. So those are my 2 favorite episodes so far. I mean, I plan on doing this for a long time. We have over 100 and almost 150 episodes. I don't count the bonus ones because they're there. So, I mean, if I did count that, I'd probably have quite a few more. But I think that, that's how many I've got. So, a couple other things I want to talk about. One Drink Wednesday. If you have not watched that, Shaping Success is kind of one of those things that I get to be myself, but I don't get to kind of kick loose, let loose. There's some things that if you know me, you know that, I kind of have a potty mouth. I swear a lot, and I try to keep it clean here. I had to do that as teaching. You have to tone yourself down to make sure that people don't, you don't want to alienate your audience, I guess. And that's not what this show's about. It's about helping other people see that no matter what it is, you can be successful. So that's what it's about. And so we have another show. Jay and I kind of, he lives in Arizona, I live in Idaho, and every Wednesday we do an IG live show where we just have a drink. We pour a drink, we sit down at our virtual bar, and we just kind of kick it and talk, and we invite people in to hang out, and we do the rooms, and you can have 3 or 4 people on there. Me and Jay are 2, but you can have 4 at a time. And then we sit down, we have a drink, we talk about whatever it is. It's pop culture, it's what we're going through, the things that we're doing. It's funny, I started this and I left this out because this week I didn't even think about it, but it's there. It's right there with me. I've been through a lot this year, in the last 3 months. Not a lot. I mean, my wife has carried the baby, so she did such a great job. She's such a trooper. And we had a son 2 days ago. And, our 8-year-old daughter got to see him for the first time a couple of days ago. And my wife has just been great working on that. So I don't want to leave that out. But, those are some of the things that I've been going through and why you've seen a little bit more of the classic episodes. Just haven't had time to record, haven't had time to get guests, but we're going to switch that up. Get more people and get back to the regular interviews now that those things are kind of out of the way. I also got a new knee in November, so I've been dealing with that. And those are just kind of things like physical therapy and the recording times and things like that have kept me away with my regular job. So some of the things we've been going through. But One Drink Wednesday, we talked about that this week and about the new baby and about things like that. So super cool. Jay and I get to sit down and talk, face to face somewhat. He lives in Arizona again, like I said, and I live in Idaho. So it's a long ways away, but we get to do it. So with Shaping Success being one of the shows that I do, and then One Drink Wednesday, I've also started with my friend Anthony Williams creating a network called the Independent Entertainment Network, which we are trying to get launched off the ground. It's kind of there. The Facebook pages are there. The Instagram pages are there. We're working on packages because we want people to be able to be part of the network. We have 7 people so far, and we're continuing to add to that network. With that comes the show that I get to kind of let loose again as well. With Anthony, we do a show called Tank in the Mouth, which as soon as I get done recording this, I'll hop on and we're going to record some of those episodes. They're actually on the Independent Entertainment Network YouTube page right now. So if you haven't checked that out, go ahead and check that out. We have all the artists have their own channel and they're working through that. And there's 2 or 3 Tank in the Mouth episodes on there. And they have a schedule of when they drop out and premiere. So they'll come out at the same time every week. And you can join that network if you want. Soon, we're working on getting all the details worked out because it will cost a little bit of money. But with that, you'll get advertised on other shows and, advertised on the network and things like that. So it's super exciting. I just want to end, like I said, I'm thankful that my wife and my family allow me to do the things that I want to do, that they allow me to record these episodes. They allow me to, do this because it is something that is very fun for me. And with so much going on, it takes time out of the day. Like right now, I'm spending a half an hour doing this. And luckily, I have some help with the editing of it because I don't have to edit it. But it does take time. It's something that does take time. I also want to thank Brian Sales, Jay Finning, and Zach Johnson for, kind of working through this with me and being there for me. We have this little group that we talk pretty much daily. I talk to Jay the most, but Zach actually hopped on One Drink Wednesday the other day, which was super cool because we hadn't seen him in a while or heard from him in a while. And I had Brian on my podcast last week. So if you haven't checked that episode out, go listen to it. The links will be in the show notes, and you can find them anywhere you listen to podcasts. It's called Shaping Success. So if you're watching this live, go over there, go subscribe, leave a review, and help me grow it. Help me get it bigger than that. Thanks, CC, for hanging out the whole time. I appreciate it. I see your comments. I turned that on, but I'm thankful for you. You have been there from the beginning as well. And I hope that everyone has a great day. We'll get some new episodes with interviews out soon, and we might have a few more solo ones because it's fun to hear kind of my thoughts. I did do bonus coverage for a while, but I need to get back to doing that. It takes a little bit more time to get 2 episodes out a week, and I may just do some bonus coverage. Maybe I'll do an interview in a bonus every other week or something like that to keep it rolling. But check out the Independent Entertainment Network. Subscribe to Shaping Success on Apple Podcasts. Come hang out with Jay Finning and myself on One Drink Wednesday. That's 7 Pacific time on Instagram Live. Come hang out. Make sure you follow us so that you can get those updates too when we go live, because it's been a super fun experience to do that. And I'll end it like I always do. Until next time, I challenge you to find the shape of your success.